I mean, Dario's, of course, everybody's favorite. Don't think I've ever really met anybody in the scene that's like, you know what? I don't like TLO. I mean, that's just something kind of wrong with you if you don't like Dario. He's been around forever, always a super positive, sweet guy. He's been a real... If I think of an ambassador of StarCraft 2, I truly think of someone like Dario as well. Yeah. And it's fantastic to see him still duking it out on the highest level 10 years later.
You know what? He's too nice. He's too argumentative on the couch at Home Story Cup. You know, just all of these things.
The thing is, like, he just disagrees and he's not even aware of it. So,
yeah,
German. Team Liquid is great, isn't it? It's like, nah, I mean, I'm not sure. I was like, hey, that's your team, Dario. He's like, oh, guess you're right. All right. It seems like the NA is really big on the spraying meta. Have you noticed that?
Well, that one's quite obnoxious. I'm gonna.
Yeah, it is. It really is. People did it against me as well on the ladder using this exact spray, and I was like, I'm actually kind of bothered by it. My main base is ugly now.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, I guess. You just gotta put your spray over it, I suppose.
Yeah, well, then it's just a clutter. It's not gonna look like anything.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. But at least then it's yours, I guess. But anyway, next on the way behind all of this for Robbie. And down towards the bottom. TLO's going to be able to spot this out on Everdream. How do you like the old Nexus skin?
I'm okay with the old Nexus. I really dislike the command center. That one is just ugly. Like, I can't stand it. The hatchery, at first I was a hater, but it kind of grew on me. I'm like, it's ugly, but I kind of like it. But the Nexus is the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm actually on exactly the same page. On all fronts, I actually don't like the command center that much as well. You're right; it kind of looks janky.
It looks like nothing. I still don't know what I'm looking at that command center. I was like,
yeah,
is that 3 or 4 pixels? It's really hard to say.
Wasn't there a weird graphical thing as well on how a planetary fortress looks on it? Like, looks really like...
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. Until it shoots at me, I don't know what I'm looking at. All right, I'm okay with the Nexus. I'm happy to see that Rob, also known as Tesla, like I said before in the past, you guys may have seen him in WCS qualifiers or even in the EPT qualifiers, playing under the ID Tesla. Well, Rob has been a little indecisive about what his nickname should be. He used to be Tesla, then it was Rob, and now he's going with Robbie. But I gotta say, I love Robbie. It just has a nice ring to it, and it feels good. And I like his build here as well. Opening up with the 4-gauge Robo, Resonating Glaive at depths. Obviously, this is a build that Dario, TLO, must have faced a million times already. But you've seen it yesterday, James. Even when the Zergs know this build is coming, it ain't easy to stop.
No, definitely not. Especially on some of the locations. They're a little bit more open, of course. When we were seeing on Eternal Empire, some of the natural locations are a bit more choked up, but there is a bit more room to move around in some of the fights here for Everdream, so definitely work.
I'm just having a hard time focusing because I'm just laughing, thinking of cats. Like, cats is killing me today.
Yeah.
Like, what was that intro? We are like the top tier StarCraft 2 analysts in this scene, and it's like, all right, last best of 3 of the day. Rob against TLO. 2 players with a 3-letter nickname. And I'm like, oh my god, is this our level? Is this what we became, James?
The best bit. 8
hours?
The best bit is, for us, it's 2 a.m. For him, it's not even that late.
I can't believe that this became my level, but we're here. All right, Adepts are knocking on the front door of TLO. Resonating Glaives is close to finishing up. TLO doesn't really have any though. Is that shit going to finish up on top of the Queens? The answer is no. It is important to keep every Adept alive. TLO's making a lot of roaches.
Yeah, and someone will actually pop out here. So you're going to have to move away from there. Shade goes forwards once again. So where are the roaches going to go? Going to be a bit indecisive about where moving. Actually splitting things up will go up towards the top here. But when you have to split your roaches against this, then all the firepower for the Adept is in one location against a lower amount of units at that point.
Yep, and there aren't that many units yet in the main base, so this is going to be an excellent shade for Robbie Plata. Takes down a few more Zerglings, takes down the Queen as well, and now you can just start avoiding the roaches. And don't forget, there is still that Warp Prism in the bottom that's going to warp in a few more Adepts that are shading into the third base. Robbie Plata is getting a lot of work done with his Adepts.
Yeah, definitely so. It's like chasing ghosts. So difficult to do sometimes, but we'll actually kill off quite a few of the Adepts in the end, cleaning things up, getting it going. But, I mean, 33 workers to 47.
But is there counter attack potential for TLO? He's got so many roaches. I know it's always scary for a Zerg, but I feel at this point droning up, that's pointless. So I would almost say ignore that War Prism, let the Queens deal with it, send all those roaches to the other side of the map. He's got 56 supply of roaches.
Yeah.
Obviously not speed roaches, right? Because he doesn't even have a lair yet. But TLO needs to make something happen. Might get the Prism here. He will get the Prism with 4 adepts inside of it. Well, that could be a comeback. Look at the army supplies. It's 56 against 18.
You gotta go. Go, go, go. I mean, there is Immortals being added on. And Immortals with Force Fields can definitely do something. But the cool thing about the little Zergling attack just then was he already forced out 1 or 2 Force Fields. So that will take some kind of potential out of this defense.
A couple of Zerglings already getting into the mineral line. There is nothing in the wall. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Robbie is going to warp in a unit immediately. Well, we might still have a game. Like, I know at this point it looks incredibly bad for TLO, but you know, Zerg players, James, they produce those workers rather quickly. Before you know it, they're back even, and then maybe a couple of Ravagers can absolutely save the day.
Yeah, they could. They could. No intention behind those words. It's just, you know, 11 drones on the way. We're getting it going.
No intention behind those words?
Well, you know, Protoss player talking about the Zerg.
Oh, in that way. James, I have picked nothing. Well, almost nothing.
Okay.
But non-Protoss matchups today. And hey, my picks were great. Didn't we get an absolutely fantastic day of StarCraft?
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. You're right. Very, very nice to watch. So, and we're not done yet. Aha.
Nope. I think Robbie is 1-1 in this group, by the way. It's important to mention, of course, guys. And I believe that TLO is 2-0. Is that correct? I'm going to double check that real quick. No, TLO is 1-1 and Rob is 1-1. So this is a really important series for these guys.
Yeah, get your foot in the door properly. Moving up towards the higher echelons of this group. And we see the Spire scouted out by that hallucinated Phoenix. Hydralisk then will follow things up as well. Giving TLO plenty of options.
You know, this is why I stopped scouting against Zerg a long time ago. It's like, you scout, it's like, okay, Roach War, Spire, Hydra then. All right, they've got it all. Let's see what comes out of the axe, okay? That's the only thing I really care about. But that's why I'm not as good as these guys, of course. So Robbie is going to go for the confirmation to see if that Spire finished up or not. It's still there. Did he spot the Hydra then? No, not yet.
No. And will not be spotting the infestation pit. Actually, now that you say it, they've got everything. Yeah, infestation pit as well. It's just...
It's like, TLO, you forgot the Bailing Nest, mate. He's like, oh, I'll get that one too then. I love how Rob is making the Colossus now. It's like the one unit I wouldn't make after scouting all the buildings he scouted, but all right. He's making it, and he's not wrong, because there could be some Hydras on the way. We do have a proper counterattack, though, by TLO. Yeah. A lot of roaches getting on top of these batteries, James.
I mean, this was very patient by TLO. His entire army was sat up in the top left-hand corner waiting for this army of Rob to move way out of position. Indeed, it did. I mean, he got hatchery, but he's going to get a Nexus for the trade of it all.
Yep, perhaps a more important Nexus. The Roaches really want to get that Immortal. They don't get it. I think that Robbie thought he could recall, but there was no energy on that Nexus.
Yeah, it's got a lot of energy on these sentries. I mean, he might just try and go for a little bit of a counterattack here. The 5-6 Immortals behind this, that is powerful.
Yep, especially against the units that TLO currently has out on the map, right? Like, if you wait a couple minutes, then maybe 5 Immortals can get counted. Right now, I don't see a proper counter to 5 Immortals. I gotta say, I think it's so ambitious that TLO is getting Hive in a game like this, right? Feels low eco, feels scrappy, feels weird. TLO's like Hive. I'm like, all right. Well, Robbie doesn't seem to wait for it. I wonder if he's going to turn around or not, but I'm with you, James. I don't think you want to turn around. I think this is where you want to bring the pain train with the Immortals. Yeah,
definitely so. I was trying to keep him honest almost with the counter-attack and see if he could kind of almost call his bluff if he was actually going to turn around, but there is none of that happening right now for Robbie. He's going to divide some of these units. Even drones are in that army as well, just because there's not much of an army here for TLO. He's bringing everything back right now. Force fields will position themselves, but I mean, he can go up the ramp, force field off. Get the Hive, go up the ramp, force field it off, and then cause huge problems for TLO.
This is really Wings of Liberty, isn't it? It's like Protoss armies are running into the main, and they're going to force field the Zerg. TLO is about to lose like all of his bases. He's got one more base on the low ground here, but that one isn't even done yet. Main base goes down as well. Robbie doing a really good job dropping key force fields on this ramp.
Like, Corrosive Bile isn't good enough to be able to shut down the force fields on the ramp. When you're having to go up a choke point, GG, Rob just seizes the initiative. I love the move that he was able to make there.
Love to see the sigh of relief as well. Did you see that? It's like, obviously, you know, we're just having a good time. We're watching StarCraft. We're getting a little crazy after 8 hours. Makes sense. But for someone like Rob, who is, I don't want to say new to this stage, because he's definitely made it into the Premier League, the Challenger a couple of times in the past. But he's obviously not a veteran like TLO, right? Like TLO has done it all. He's won tournaments back in the days. He's been traveling around the world for such a long time. For Rob, this is still always kind of like a big moment. Can we get the job done? And at least in game one, it seems like the answer is yes. The adepts, man. The adepts are too powerful, James.
Not bad at all, I would say. But, I mean, there's other options. They're pretty good. You know what, Roddy? Protoss has good options, all right? What do you think about that?
I think you're right, James. I think it's a beautiful race with a lot of options.
Yeah. And now you have Void Rays too. God, what a good time to be a Protoss player, right?
It is. It's always been a good time to be a Protoss player, James.
Okay, that's fair.
I have never regretted my decision once to be a Protoss player.
That's an interesting question, actually. Have you ever? Yeah,
of course. Every day of my life, I'm crying under the shower every night. Like, I sit down after a long day and a couple tears.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Let the rain, let the water fall down on me. And that's where I curse out Artelsis. I'm not an angry man. The only reason I play Protoss is because of Artelsis. Long time ago, Dan said, if you're an Orc player in Warcraft 3, you should play Protoss in StarCraft. And I was like, you know what, this Artelsis guy, this is like the summer of 2009. I was like, Artelsis seems like a nice guy. I'll trust him. Never forgive him for it. I'll never forgive him for it. Dan is not invited to my potential wedding. I don't know if we ever have one, but if we do have one, no invite to Dan. I can't forgive him. Didn't he
or Idra advise one or the other to go Zerg? I can't remember which way around it was.
Yeah, I believe that Artelsis recommended Idra to play Zerg, and then Idra got mad at him.
Well, imagine if he'd have been around now. Anyway, we have Swan in the top right-hand corner in the blue. It is Liquid TLO.
Just teasing, of course, and I will invite Dan, even though I'm genuinely upset that he didn't tell me to play Zerg. Bottom left side, look at the main base of the man who's up 1-0. Had a big sigh of relief. Can he close out the final best of 3 of the day? It is Robbie Plata.
At this rate, we're not going to be inviting anybody to go anywhere until 2025, mate. So,
mate, in 2025, I'm probably still single. Don't worry about it. If we do have a wedding, I'm expecting it to be a midlife crisis wedding, okay? Like a random night. It's like, hey, I turned 48 last week. Honey, you want to get married? It's like, but we just met. Exactly.
It is Vegas.
That's my future anyway, James. So don't worry about that. Corona is long gone by then, hopefully.
We will see. We have got ourselves a pro moving on in towards TLO's base. Have a look around. It's already the hatch first, into the gas, into the pool. Ooh, and we'll continue from there.
This is not the worst map for Adepts. I feel like there is some really good plays, and we've seen Adepts Shades finish up on top of the ramp quite often. I do think it's worth pointing out, by the way. I mean, it's hard for us to really go over all the details all the time, but a lot of Zerg players like to defend the initial wave of Adepts with Zerglings. We kind of call it the Dongregul response, because he was one of the first Zergs to do it, I believe, and then the other Zergs copied him. TLO went for the old school defense. It was like, nope. Roaches, nothing but roaches. I think it can work, but obviously the roaches really need to be in the proper position all the time. It's very easy. Like, roaches are great against adepts, but if you leave like 3 roaches in your main and then 8 adept shade on top of it, well, that's not going to go well, and that's why it's very difficult to just defend with roaches immediately.
The more I look at this spray, the Holt spray, the more I like it. I mentioned that it was obnoxious before, and that's why it's great.
You said the hold? Or it's like halt? Like
Halt, yeah.
Halt!
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's been a long day, James. I noticed. It's like, by the way, not only do these two players have an O in their name, Pillars of Gold has an O as well. Isn't?
God damn it.
Yeah, you never thought about that, did you? All right, so this time Robbie is going for the Stargate. I gotta say, with the way that the Adepts did in the previous game, of course, Everdream, Pillars of Gold, completely different maps. I really wouldn't have minded to see him go with the Adepts again. Rob is clearly pretty good with that build. And since TLO has a unique response, maybe he could have done it again. But I actually kind of like seeing this as well. The Void Ray first coming out of Robbie.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, there's at least one Overlord to be able to be picked up near his base. And then beyond that, maybe some other things going on. I do like the harassment potential of it. And I mean, eventually, like a fourth base is going to be quite far away from any third location. So,
yep, but I don't know if we're going to get multiple Void Rays. Well, question has been answered. There is the second Void Ray. I do feel in general, being creative against TLO, terrible idea. Like, that's his world, right? You don't mess with TLO when it comes to creativity. Dario actually throwing down a Baneling nest 4 minutes into the game. That's
a bust.
Say again?
He's gonna just try and go at full aggression and bust, right? Maybe.
I think you're right, because that's a little too early to be a defensive Baneling nest. Because what are you defending against when it's a Void Ray opening? Stargate costs money. Void Ray is pretty expensive still. So I have the feeling that TLO is going to produce a lot of Zerglings very early on, and while the Void Rays are trying to be annoying, maybe on his side of the map. Bam, he's going to try to bust into the natural.
Yeah, I'm thinking so too. 3 Overlords, 4 Overlords in production. Anything more needs to scream making some production units. Could quite easily be that. Although the Void Rays are chilling back at home. Okay, moving on.
You can still bust with like 50-52 drones. Like, these attacks are odd, but TLO has done them many times. I guarantee you that. Whenever I played a lot of games on the ladder against TLO, I'm always like, it wouldn't make any sense to Baneling bust right now. I'm fine. And then Banelings appeared. I'm like, no, Dario, why? But so far, he's actually still just droning up, keeping the queens obviously in good positions. I'd like to see the main base and the natural being connected, though. This could actually get bad for TLO. 3 Void Rays should absolutely dive on the... It might be in the Spore Crawler first. You're using Prismatic Alignment. Kill the Spore. What? Hello? Okay, that's so weird. Okay, now it goes for the main. Why would you kill the Spore?
Spore relocates. Oi. Actually, that was pretty sick.
Yep. Now, so far, so good by Rob, who's going to get a couple of drones here as well. TLO is morphing Banelings on the other side of the map, so maybe he was just waiting until the Void Rays decided to be aggressive. He's not going to go for the natural. He's going for the third. I don't think TLO ever kills the Nexus, but if he gets every single probe, it's okay. But this is a big commitment by TLO. He needs proper damage here, Colaris.
Yeah, I mean, all the drones starting off before all of this gives him a little bit of an avenue to transition off the back of it, of course. But at the same time, as you're rightfully pointing out, he needs the drones, probe kills, and he did get quite a few here. Gets some pylons as well, chasing back a lot of the units that were coming from that location. But this Void Ray is just slowly free damage, but he's going to get the Nexus.
Yep, I was gonna say he doesn't get the Nexus, but TLO with the random Baneling boss, the anti-+1 melee timing, gets the Nexus. A Dario special.
That's right. Swinging on in. Although there are a lot of Void Rays now.
We're building 3 queens at a time. The queens initially have been gathering up more and more energy. That's an absolutely amazing attack for TLO.
Yeah, very good stuff. Very good stuff. And they're going to swing in with even more Zerglings. 53 workers. Getting the force cancel again. Oof.
Yep. Now all the Voiders are going to try their luck in the main base. No, why are you using Prismatic Alignment against queens? I hate to see it. It just makes microing hard. It could turn around right now. Maybe try to kill the Spore. Mate, if you're using Prismatic Alignment, please kill the Spore Crawler. Does Rob not know that Void Rays don't do extra damage against queens if you use Prismatic?
Guess not. And Esl loses quite a lot of the Void Rays here for his troubles. Double Stargate is producing them now. Ling's managed to get in. Huh.
Okay, I really don't get why he did that, because obviously if you activate prismatic alignment, the void rays are slower, right? So they're harder to micro, they're harder to save, and you're not dealing any bonus damage. Like, you activate prismatic alignment when you're fighting spore crawlers, or you want to gun down buildings, or maybe you're being attacked by roaches, but using it while you're fighting queens just makes it easier for the Zerg to actually kill void rays.
And a forced cancellation of that third base again would have been catastrophic there, really, for Rob, but he manages to save it on out. Colossus with double thermal lance, or did he cancel the Colossus, or did it finish? Where?
No, this one didn't finish. Zerglings casually running into the natural. This could be a bit annoying to deal with as well. But the most important thing is that TLO is just really keeping Rob busy. And as long as Rob is busy, he's not scouting the fact there is a Spire on the other side of the map.
Yeah, with Corruptors on the way. Now, well, I mean, they're not the ideal unit against the Void Ray, I suppose, but if you get enough of them, then you'll be all right.
Yeah, of course there's micro potential in the Corruptors as well, especially against Voids without Flux Veins. I actually think I would have preferred just to see Mass Muda, but we are still going to have 6 Mudas. They are still going to deal a lot of damage in the main base. Rob has 4 gateways, so he could drop in a couple stalkers. Like, it's only 6 Mudas. 6 Mudas don't need to kill everything, but it seems like Rob is closing his eyes right now, and he's like, all right, that's it. The army that I have is the army that I'm going to try to win the game with.
Yep. He may try and bring down some of this anti-air whilst it's all separated. All the queens are not together right now. This is going to be one of the better opportunities for him to try and do some damage on the other side. How much ground is there against these Colossi as well as these Zealots? There's not much, right?
There's not much, but once again, he activated prismatic alignment on all the void rays. I gotta say, the corruptor count is not overwhelming yet. But, like, imagine if you would have only activated 1 or 2 prismatic, you can do it right now. But Rob is actually...
Insta-kill.
He's doing pretty good, but obviously if he loses his army, he loses the game. Find the Corruptor on the left side. Every unit matters at this point. Kalaris is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, it definitely is. These Corruptors are going to try and chase on against this as well now, focusing them down. Some of the transfuses go on these Corruptors. And actually, the Corruptors aren't really dealing with the Void Rays that quickly here. But the Mutalisks are certainly throwing a wrench in the works, as well as the Queens joining with this as well. The Void Rays won out against a lot of the Corruptors, but there's not many left now.
Nope, but there isn't much left for TLO either. But then again, like, we're having slow gateway units being warped in on the other side of the map. It's the saddest reinforcement of all time. TLO will clean this up. That was a proper clown fiesta of a fight. I don't know what I just watched.
Yeah, desperation calls for desperate measures, I suppose, here for Rob. And just trying to get a few more units out to head over towards the third base and lock that down. Actually transitioning into double Phoenix play, considering the air position of TLO, but was there even that many Mutalisks left? Only 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. I mean, Phoenix are really good in low eco games. The problem is he didn't kill that many drones. TLO is not a low eco player right now. He's sitting at 76 drones. I think Dario can just spam banings from this point. I mean, Rob's ground army is kind of pathetic, actually. It's hard to call it an army. It's like, it's 7 zealots without charge, without +1. That's not an army.
No, not so much. Yeah, gateway units not having any other upgrades kind of do feel a bit sad, you know.
A bit, very sad.
Very sad.
Banelings are crashing into the mineral line at the third, so Rob just lost 21 probes. At the same time, Zerglings are dancing in his natural, and this game is just falling apart. I will not be upset if Rob leaves here, because he's not winning this game.
Yeah, TLO's got double the workers right now. Made a few spore crawlers as well, so he's slightly off of that, but you know, he's just kind of covering his bases here, quite literally, and against any potential flying units that will come along.
This is where Rob, like, he attacks and he really hopes that maybe TLO's got nothing. You know, it's like, what if he has like 2 queens and 2 corruptors and I can kill that? And when he sees the army, he's like, oh my god, I'm out of here. Like, immediately. He's like, no, I want none of that. Why is Dario evacuating a base? He's giving, this is not nice to Rob. He's giving Rob hope.
False hope. War strategy. I like it.
So seriously, why are we giving up a base against 3 Void Rays and 5 Phoenix when we've got 1 million Queens, Mutas, and Corruptors?
I don't. Maybe he's misreading the situation. Maybe he thinks that there's a little bit more than meets the eye, but it's not going to be it. And we'll take this air fight. The Mutalisks here, so you shred this. GG, TLO ties it up 1-1.
Pretty feisty and fun game here on Pillars of Gold. It's the Dario special. Right when you don't think the Bailing Bus comes anymore, it does show up, did a lot of damage. We'll talk more about it after the quick commercial break.
Like Frodo and Sam, we have ventured across Middle-earth over this epic tale of today. And Roddy, we have reached the promised land. We have reached Mordor. We've got to throw the ring into the volcano. Have you even watched Lord of the Rings?
No.
What?
I'm like, what is going on over
Oh
here?
my god.
I actually thought it was a Harry Potter reference, and I was like, Dumbledore? Is this good? But I don't know. No.
I'm gonna hyperventilate right now. What? Oh my.
I don't like fantasy stuff, okay?
Oh. You know, let's just get into the game. Let's just unbelievable.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on, guys. Our final game of the day. This has been a marathon broadcast, but a really fun one. Highlights: Gerald, Skillless, Marine Lord against Elaser. I mean, that was just the sickest. Drogo Lambo was cool. Epic day. Here we are, top left side for the last time today. We're looking at the main base of our American Protoss player, Robbie Plata.
All right, and down to the bottom right-hand side, tying things up, we have TLO. Oh.
be fair, when you started talking about a ring, I did figure it was Lord of the Rings. That's where that was the tell.
That was the tell.
Yeah, the ring. I thought you were making a reference to like a World of Warcraft raid. Like, isn't Mordor like a dungeon in WoW or something?
No, but I'll tell you what is a dungeon in WoW, and I told the Muslim yesterday. Eternal Palace is a dungeon in World of Warcraft.
Well, that's why Benjamin called Eternal Empire Eternal Palace a couple of times. And then they tried to downplay it and put it on me. Like, I watched the broadcast full of lies. Benjamin Baker, shame on you.
Well, he didn't even realize it. That's the funny thing. Like, it was just buried in his subconscious somewhere.
Yeah, he was like, why do I keep saying Eternal Palace? I'm like, well, Ben, maybe
I remember
you
this
have
broadcast.
Maybe because you have 7 level 60 characters and you spent 400 hours on WoW.
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure it was a family issue. Like, we're going to kick you out of the house, Benjamin, if you don't stop playing WoW. And that's when he gave up.
I'll tell you something. My main on retail, not classic, whilst this game's getting going. Wait, there's a spine crawler.
What?
Why is
What?
there a spine?
What? I mean, obviously, Rob's opening is very weird, okay? We got to talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about the opening.
Yeah.
Sorry. We'll save the story. It's the last game today. Let's do these builds justice. I don't know what's happening. TLO's opening seemed pretty standard. Then Rob has a 1-gate opening inside of his main. So he's playing the smallest map in the map pool without an immediate wall off on the low ground. I am shocked. I am confused. I don't know why you would do this.
I am shocked and appalled. No, not quite to that extent. But finishing the wall off. Robo facility in the wall.
TLO is thinking about link flooding. I have the feeling he made 6 additional Zerglings.
How did we get here?
Oh, nothing. There was nothing.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think that Dario made that temporary spine because I think he was maybe worried about a double gate opening. Something we haven't seen in a long time in this matchup. But obviously double gate adept on one base can be kind of annoying. Then 2 more adepts show up and you can actually start losing a lot of drones very quick. Now it's just getting weirder, okay? Because TLO is going for 2 base lair. And like Rob is going to scout all those Zerglings. If I'm Rob right now, I would panic immediately and build 17 shield batteries. Rob is doing the opposite. He's exposing sentries. I'm like, no, don't do that. I don't know what's happening, mate.
Your sentries are hanging out. Put them back.
No, what is he doing?
What?
This is so crazy. I mean, I guess he's trying to kill an overlord, but there are Zerglings.
Excuse me? He got so lucky.
Okay, I think this is. I know this build.
Okay.
This is the Robbie Plata. I think just 6 gate immortal sentry push. +1. I think he used to do this on Cyber Forest. I think that tiny green map that we had for a while. But
a lot of drops.
Yep, I don't think that he's really aware of this. I mean, this is gonna mess it up because if there's one thing, we have 4 sentries running to the other side of the map. What is this? And Rob, can you please warp in some units in the main base? Seriously, what is this?
Well, I mean, he sees these sentries and he's got to be super confused.
Welcome to NA. Like, and now TLO is like, whoa, 4 sentries? I'm building spine crawlers. That's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
Shut it down. Get it out of there. I don't want any of it.
That's so funny. Okay, you canceled the spines. All right, proper drone drill there in that little pocket, but the first probes, I said drone drill, not probes. First probes did go down. Zergling's still running around though. This is so weird, mate.
Yeah, it definitely is. Those get sealed in. I mean, if he were to go with just the immortals and sentries, this would be like old school Soul Train stuff with more sentries warping him. +1 finish.
So many probes. The Zerglings are actually doing way more, I feel like, than they were supposed to. But it seems that Rob feels like he's like, all right, I'm on the clock. He's going for it. What I don't get is we've got a Twilight. Is he going to get charged now? Like, is this when you get charged?
Wait. And then TLO was gearing up for an aggressive push during all of this.
Nah, I think like being out on the map is not bad because you're buying time, right? With corrosive balls, now obviously you don't want to lose your ravages. They're really expensive. When you're working with a weak 2-base economy, TLO got a few more circlings into the main base though, and this is really bad for Rob. The cross engagement was rough, not Rob's. I mean, 4 or 5 workers going down. He's going up to 3 bases. I don't know, mate. I give up.
I feel like everything about Submarine drives people a little bit doolally from time to time.
TLO's like, you know what? Those spines I made earlier, should get them again.
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously kind of a scary army, especially after losing a couple of the ravages in the middle of the map. TLO is up 20 army supply though, and I think it's really important for Rob that he doesn't get too overeager because his army isn't that good. TLO is setting up a surround, and this can get very bad for Robbie.
Yeah, definitely. Might have to be a recall back sometime soon.
Oh, he's actually just gonna try to drop everything in the main base. The force field is good. The drones are trapped. TLO is counterattacking. Kalaris, take it away. Give us some proper old school Kalaris hype.
It's back to Wings of Liberty again. We're going just straight in. We're going to force field this off. The layer's going to fall down here with the Immortals as well. But at the same time, the Roaches and Ravagers are on the other side. He's going to recall. Which Nexus are we going to? It's the main. Okay. He's going to lose his natural.
I think he does, but then again, if TLO sticks around, TLO is also going to lose a lot of units, right? Zorg doesn't have a recall, so TLO does get the Nexus, but he's going to end up losing this entire army. The question is, can he get a couple of sentries?
And he's trying to pick it up here with this Warp Prism as well, saving as much as he possibly can. That Immortal needs to be picked up. Yes, he does actually get it. More Roaches as well as Ravages are going to be reinforcing outside of this wall. Going to have to pursue this away. That's still a lot of units.
The thing is, TLO doesn't know about the additional Nexus. I feel like, I wonder if TLO would have made that play if he knew that Nexus was there. I think he read this as a 2-base attack.
Right.
And I mean, I can't blame TLO for being confused. Like, we have no Fog of War and I'm confused.
We're dropping 4 Roaches into the main. Okay, so let's see if we can find some probes here and there.
This is Dario still believing he's a Terran player. And it's working out. It's going to spot. He could maybe cancel the Dark Shrine even. Dark Shrines are expensive, man. I wouldn't hate, because there's obviously he lost his lair as well. He's going for the Dark Shrine. And I think he will get it.
I mean, can't use the overcharge from the shield battery on towards the Dark Shrine if he was to go for it, but he gets the battery for now and has to move on away.
I've got a really crazy idea, Clavis. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Warp in a Stalker and kill that stupid Dropalord.
Yeah, it's slow.
Okay, Robbie's actually moving out pretty far.
Whoa!
He does drop a couple of force field, saves his units. I mean, this is such a low eco scrappy game. Obviously, a Disruptor on the way is great. The Dropalord did finally go down, but the Roaches will survive.
And he's going to be moving on to this 3rd base as well, now realizing that it's here. It's a bit brutal for TLO, and tries to push this away. That force field was a sieve, so going to be leaking on through.
We still have 2 low HP Roaches. They're gonna now run into the natural.
Oh yeah, look at that. They're running away. Get out!
Oh, Purification Nova maybe in the bottom side of the map, as the Warp Prism is carrying a Disruptor, but Robbie missed the army.
We had a good start to the day, and it got crazy, and it continues to be crazy, just in a different way, you know?
Decent shot. Yeah, that's very nice, right? You get 2 Ravages for free. Just, yeah, you take some damage, but who cares? Getting Ravages in a low eco game is awesome. Today had everything, James. We had literally everything.
Every flavor of ice cream you could possibly want has been today.
Like Vindicta against Nemshar was an insane series as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely was. This is going to continue.
Did we have a bad series? Like, maybe Clem against Soul was a little meh, but...
I don't know. You know what? I've been entertained by everything. It's kept me awake. It's kept me revitalized. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're loving it. TLO's probably not loving this game right now, and I can't blame him for it, because he's just in a rough spot. Don't forget, Robbie has +2, and he's got attack advantage. Oh, what is he doing with his Warp Prism? He's going to unload the Disruptor. The answer is yes. He's going to fire, and, well, take down 2 Roaches. That's honestly quite good.
All right, this is quite a scary army, to be fair, but against a big concave from TLO, if you can set it up. The thing is that moving into this area, there's so many attack paths here for the Zerg to be able to crunch down on you.
Yeah, but I feel like he's going to lose from every angle.
You think so?
Yeah, but yeah, maybe. I mean, this is a decent start. I don't know why Robbie isn't just fighting. Now, more units coming in from the top. Indeed, a beautiful engagement. Maybe use some Purification Novas. We haven't seen it disrupt this fire yet. Hello?
Well, they've actually got some kills down towards the south here, but that's a lot of Ravagers. Jeez Louise. Actually doing some damage from this. Oh, yikes. But at the same time, pushing on.
He does save the other two. Does he have a shot available on the Disruptors? I mean, this fight is just wild as well. One more to solo in HP, but it will survive. Obviously, Rob has a lot of money in the bank. Fires forward one more Nova. TLO really got the best possible fight there. Incredibly well done by TLO. I just don't know if it's enough. Blink is finishing up. Rob is starting +3. How often do you see +3 against no upgrades on the Zerg side?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. So just try and buy a little bit of time here for the moment. Rob, try and replenish your forces, and maybe an extra disruptor or two could kind of slowly whittle down this army if you can hold it at arm's length.
Yeah, I mean, Blink is finishing up now as well. I do think Rob dropped the ball a little bit on the Novas. Disruptor pops on the wrong side.
Whee!
Picked off immediately.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disaster there. These Roaches and Ravagers are going to continue pushing on. Corrosive Bile almost hits his own units once again. There's another disruptor here, but it has already fired, and now it won't be recharged for a little while.
It's safe to say it's now or never for TLO. I mean, if Rob spends that tank, I just don't believe that TLO can really get the job done with his unupgraded unit. So it needs to be now or never. There were extra gateways on the way. Rob is up to 8 gateways. That has to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, the Stalkers are already getting pretty decent trades on this south side, to be perfectly honest, after they just keep blinking back and forth. How many Stalkers do we even have? We have 20 Stalkers out whilst all of this is going on. They're just lying in wait and waiting for TLO to overstep the mark.
Yep, I mean, the Novas are not connecting there, but at least they're buying time. Robbie just wants his entire army in one place, which I do get, because that makes your life a lot easier with Stalkers. It's really hard to micro Stalkers on two sides. Now he's got all his units in one place, and even if TLO wants to go to the south side, that's okay, because you can just chase that army down with your Stalkers.
The funny thing is that I think that Rob would rather these 2 gateways here be killed off so he could micro against it. There's another disruptor getting a big connection there. TLO is going to try and push in against this. The gateway goes down. Again, I do feel like Rob would have an easier time blinking back with it not there.
A couple of DTs have just been wiped in as well. There is still an Overseer here, though, but the Stalkers can blink forward, snipe the Overseer. Now he goes for the Rapture. Now he gets the Overseer. Now DTs were absolutely saved today. Wow, the Observer just got sniped there. That was sick, but that's a massive Nova, and I think that is going to